Alrighty, so we have Miss Cox again here. She is enrolled in my coaching program, and this is our second video, the Learn video. And once again, she is an 8th grade special education teacher here at Shiloh Middle School who serves in the co-taught setting for social studies and language arts. And last time we did identify a goal and a tool that we are going to use. I just want to remind you and just let everybody else know that our goal that we talked about was 7 out of 8 students are going to be engaged in academic conversation with yourself and the other students per a small group. And the tool that we discussed that we were going to use is Nearpod. And in particular, we will be using the features of Collaborate Board, multiple choice, and open-ended questions to stimulate some conversation. So, how we're going to get this going first is I want to introduce a checklist to you that we are going to be using to kind of guide us in this process. Checklists are important because it kind of holds us accountable and it gives us kind of something to look at that we need to achieve while trying to get to this goal. So this particular checklist is dealing with using questions effectively with students. And I believe this is going to be helpful for us because we are trying to stimulate conversation, and the best way to stimulate conversation is using questions effectively. So we're just going to go through each of our phases here, or each of our criteria for this checklist. Number 1, ask questions of all students, or to all students. Use repeat, rephrase, reduce, and reach out. You want to celebrate mistakes, avoid giving away the answers, and lastly, and most importantly, I feel like in the Zoom culture, or Zoom teaching right now, is to provide sufficient wait time for them to answer. Technology lags, their Wi-Fi might be gives them fits, so giving them that sufficient wait time is very important. So this checklist is what we're going to use to kind of guide us in reaching our goal. Okay. But before we kind of move on though, is there anything else you would like to add to this checklist to help us reach our goal?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, so, and I think this one kind of hits everything we need to be looking for to increase student conversation. Yeah. So this is going to be the checklist that you are going to be using when you are going to be watching me model this for you.
Got it.
But I want you to be choosing the approach to modeling. So we have a couple options here. You are going to be seeing me do this in some way, shape, or form, but I want you to select which one you're more comfortable with. So I can model this in a classroom with or without students. It could be co-teaching where we kind of work together. Right. We could visit another colleague's classroom, or you can simply just watch a video of me doing it with my students. So which way would you prefer this to be modeled for you?
Either video or we can do it while I'm in the classroom with you.
Okay, so technically it's kind of the same thing. With the video, you could always rewatch the video, but you are in the classroom. Yeah. So let's do the classroom. Come into my classroom. I think that'll work best. So we have a lesson coming up that I think will be perfect to utilize Nearpod, in particular the features of Collaborate Board, multiple choice, and open-ended questions. Okay. And essentially I'm going to be using those features in my lesson, and hopefully we can have some conversation with our students and engage in some academic conversation. Okay. So just for everybody else, this lesson that I'm going to be modeling is going to be over argumentative writing. We're going to be trying to establish claims for a topic, and the lesson will be us reading an article about a topic, and then the students will be trying to identify evidence that supports their claim. So in regards to our features that we're going to be looking at, Collaborate Board, I am going to try to use that to see what the students remembered from the previous lesson at the beginning, kind of our activating strategy. And then we are going to be reading an article, so we're going to be doing an interactive read aloud where I am reading the article and then pausing and inserting multiple choice and open-ended questions to help facilitate that student engagement and conversation. So what you're going to be doing while this is all happening, you're going to be using this checklist right here, and you're going to be seeing if I'm doing everything correctly. I'm sure I am going to mess up. So we will have stuff to talk about for good and bad. But we're going to be trying to see if I hit everything. And end goal, we're going to see if most of my students are engaged in conversation using Nearpod. So let's see if we can do it. And after that, we're going to come back together, I guess probably tomorrow, and we'll discuss what we saw, if there's some good stuff, some bad stuff, and then after that, you'll be trying it out, and we'll keep monitoring your progress. I'll see you in class.
Thank you.
3 standards that we were using yesterday, and that is AKS 10, 11, and 20. 10 is citing textual evidence, 11 is analyzing the development of a central idea, and then 20 is write arguments to support claims with clear reasons and relevant evidence. Before we kind of dive into today's work, I do want to see what we all learned yesterday in regards to the article you all had to read during your work session, and that was good gaming. And this article, the claim, this article supports the claim that teens should play video games. That should have been fairly obvious while you were reading it. What I want to see, if you guys learned anything, is this. What were some of the reasons why kids should play video games? This particular article had about 3 to 4 reasons why. Just want you to name one. So what were some of the reasons why kids should play video games? Give you guys, we'll say 2 minutes. And once you've said something, you can go ahead and look at what your classmates have said. In about 20 more seconds, guys. Alrighty, guys. So good job right here. We all seem to understand this article. Again, it was good gaming, and it obviously supported the claim that teens should play video games. And it looks like most of us were able to understand the evidence that was stated. And Mariah, I'll say that you had the most detailed answer that actually gave every single reason why kids should play. And that was obtain scholarships, provides a platform for kids to practice perseverance, and relieve the negative effects of stress and depression. So if you talked about any of those, you also got it correct. But I just wanted to highlight Mariah's, because she did actually go into every single detail. But good job, guys. It looks like we did fully grasp that particular text. And I do want to just go to read aloud. We are going to be reading how video games are getting inside your head and wallet. And as I stated, we are going to be exploring the other side of our issue today. And that is going to be the issue that teens should not play video games. And as I've been saying yesterday and today, it's important for us to explore both sides of an argument before we decide which side we're going to argue. We need to hear both sides. So let's go ahead and hear the second side of our issue with the article, How Video Games Are Getting Inside Your Head and Wallet. Based off this title, though, let's make an inference. What is this article going to be telling us about why we shouldn't play video games? All right, so making an inference here based off our title of How Video Games Are Getting Inside Your Head and Wallet. What do you think this article will be about? Is it going to be A, B, or C? Read the question answers carefully. Give you guys about 20 seconds. 10 seconds. Alrighty, guys. So we almost had everyone answer again. This is a really easy way to get extra points by participating on Nearpod. But the answer is B. It will tell us that video games are messing with our heads and making us spend money. Section is, how do you all feel that while you're playing video games, somebody is tracking your each and every move? All right, so we have our first open-ended question here, and I kind of want to hear y'all's input on this. Is how do you feel about an adult watching your every move while playing a video game? And explain your thinking. I'll give you guys about 2 minutes here. I agree, Caleb. About 1 more minute, guys. Alrighty, so that was our quick little 2 minutes right there, and just kind of to talk about this a little bit. We had a lot of people say that this was kind of weird, makes them feel uncomfortable, which I can definitely feel that as well. And we also had some students in here say that actually, it doesn't really matter. It's still going to be fun either way. If it's going to make the game better, so be it. So it seems like we kind of had a little differences in opinions right here. And that's totally cool. And I think I guess I kind of in the middle. It is weird that someone is watching us every single time we do anything. Like, where's our privacy? But I guess if it is going to make the game a little better to see how we play it and what can they do to make it better and harder, I guess I can see it. But all I'm saying is I can see both sides of the argument. But thanks for your opinion right there. Let's continue on, guys.
Alrighty, Miss Cox. So thank you for coming in yesterday. Well, I guess you're there every day, but thank you for anyway. So I guess my first question here is, what did you think about watching me model yesterday?
I think you did really well with trying to keep the kids engaged with the open-ended questions. I think those are always awesome because it actually makes them react or respond to you. Mm-hmm. Giving them plenty of examples in different ways, which I definitely appreciated that because, again, students learn at different paces. But actually giving them time to respond and just being patient with them, because some of them do take a second to get that mute off.
Absolutely.
And yeah. Some of them have technical issues, but just as long as they're communicating to you, you're communicating to them that they're trying to answer it. It was definitely a great video. I actually enjoyed it.
And I like what you said about the open-ended questions, because it does require them to think, type something up. Multiple choice is good for recall and to see if they're kind of paying attention, but the answer is there given for them.
Right.
Open-ended, that extra level of thinking is added where they have to think critically. They have to think of an answer for themselves. So we have our checklist here with in front of us, and just going through it, what did you see I did based off the checklist in the video?
I think you definitely asked questions of all the students, which again refers to the open-ended questions as well as some of the modeling with the T-charts. You did definitely repeat, rephrase, reduce, and you reached out. Like I said, even though some are kind of slow, they definitely were definitely engaged with the lesson. I didn't see a lot of mistakes as far as that part, but even though, once again, you never made any of the kids feel uncomfortable. Yeah. Even if they got the wrong answer, it was always, hey, good job, but not quite there. And definitely avoiding giving away the answers. That was key because, like you mentioned, they have to think of an answer. It's their own thoughts. And I also implement that even if they say anything is not wrong if that's what you were thinking. So we can build on that. Yep. And you definitely provided sufficient wait time.
Okay. I kind of went back and rewatched the video as well just to see the checklist, and the ones that you talked about were the ones I highlighted as well. Just looking at growth, though, for me personally, I think I could increase the rigor level of my questions to require a little higher level thinking. So I guess moving forward, when looking back at this checklist, something that I might add is to increase rigor. And that is one way of using questions effectively instead of having that lower level thinking. But again, awesome. Thank you for coming in and looking at the checklist, kind of reviewing me. And I hope it was powerful for you. It is important to see something modeled for you before you actually go and do it yourself.
Correct.
But now we are to our point in our coaching session where you are going to be putting this into action with your small group. So when would you want to implement this practice? When do you want to do this small group video?
We can do it in a couple of days. It's fine.
Okay. Whenever you want, you just gotta let me know. I will, of course, be here to help you with the Nearpod lesson, showing you some tweaks for collaborate board, open-ended question, multiple choice, all that. So I'm always here to help out, but we got a date next couple days, maybe a week from now. And I'm excited to see what you can do.
Absolutely, I appreciate you.
All right, Ms. Cox, thank you.